Hello, it's Chaplin 73, and I'm here again interviewing another artist. I'm here today with Chinagirl Tile. Hello, Chinagirl Tile. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
I will crack on with the questions. So if you could you just explain for the audience who you are, what you do, and where you are based?
Hi, I'm Chinagirl Tile. I work with ceramics. You probably have seen some of my foxes hanging around in some of the British cities. You might assume I'm from UK. I'm not. I'm in fact Austrian. I'm from Vienna, which is our capital city. So I'm an Austrian artist who works globally. What I do is I work with moldable materials like clay and produce basically very thin relief style tiles, which they can get very big, from tiny pieces to up to 6-7 meters tall. They're one of the bigger ones you might know is Giraffe the Giraffe from up first in Bristol. That's all made from clay from scratch. So yeah, that's what I do. Basically, I'm a crazy potter.
Yeah, I mean it's unusual in street art, isn't it, to see ceramics used in that way. And I remember seeing the giraffe at Upfest and being blown away by it because of just the pure scale of it. It was huge.
Yeah, it's 7 meters with the head, and the head is very big. You wouldn't see it from the street level, but once you are up there, you can see it's like a proper giraffe-sized head. It's like they're as big as it needs to be to look proper for the animal. So it's a really big piece. It's also one of my favorites. It's one of my least political, but it plays with the area and the surroundings, especially with the fence and the gates. I wanted that gate. I told them I wanted to do something because you can open up the metal gate. You can lock Joffrey in or out. Yeah. And I wanted to toy with it, and I had the brilliant idea of having the head stick out. So that was quite a achievement, bringing it all over. That's some heavy stuff to bring.
Yeah. I mean, traveling all that way with it, I'm very impressed that it managed to be the piece that it was. Really, it was
yeah.
It did kind of blow me away when I saw it there. It was amazing.
Yeah, I had it shipped with Austrian diplomacy post.
Right.
So it basically arrived at the border, and it had metal stamps on it, written from the Austrian embassy. No one was allowed to open it, not even the border control. You know, they were sealed because it went with the Austrian embassy, so it had diplomatic immunity, which means I couldn't ship weapons or drugs, but no, I choose to ship around 100 and 200 kilos of ceramics, basically.
Brilliant. A giraffe with diplomatic immunity. Brilliant.
You have to get tricky when you work with kilograms and kilograms of heavy materials, you know.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's some weight, I would imagine. So who or what influenced your style of art? What made you start putting ceramics on the street?
The idea basically came over 10 years ago. I had started working in I was in a comic and animation school, basically art school, and I studied comic and animation. They had this ceramic class, and I fell in love with it. So I went there, and it quickly became clear that I wanted to stay there. So at some point, I had the crazy epiphany that no one had done ceramics in the street arts world. And I was like, I'm gonna try that, and I'm gonna do some stuff with it. So I started with like small stuff with you maybe remember the bullet with the POW and the little bit ugly I saw Banksy red. No one could really decipher what it was, but they still loved it. That was the beginning. And I started to put these up in Vienna and Berlin. So it always was, excuse me, part of the tile project to actually bring them to different cities and to travel with the art and to spread it all around. So that was the beginning of it, which is quite a fun way to start. I just realized no one has done stuff like that, which technically is not true, because there have been other artists who work with clay, but no one is as completely mad as I am. Because I quickly moved on from small stuff to big stuff, and I stuck with it. Because most people realize at some point, this is expensive, this is heavy, and they move on to lighter materials, or they move on to just using colors and the easy way. I'm way too stubborn for that, so I stuck with the hard way. Because I like.
You've never been tempted to stray away into something lighter, like styrofoam or anything like that?
I do. I actually do a lot of other stuff as well. Chinagirl is basically the name for all the ceramics in my not private life, but other life than Chinagirl. I do a lot of other materials. I work with fabrics and stuff. I work with foam. Right. Very fun if you usually have kilograms of heavy stuff when you have a very lightweight material. So I basically a sculptor. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a sculptor than I'm a potter.
Right.
So I'm basically I have a huge kiln back here, and over here is some of my other works and stuff. So I also paint. I can use spray paints. I'm not that bad. People always assume, oh, she does ceramics and she's that, and they are usually quite surprised when I knock out some drawings and can art, and they're like, wow. And I was like, yeah, I'm not that bad with that, but I simply prefer 3D materials, you know. That's where I'm at home. It's basically, I love the fact of moldable materials, any kind of moldable. I can work with, as you saw with Joffrey, I can weld, I can blacksmith, I can do a lot of stuff with wood and everything. So I like everything that's moldable. Mm-hmm. It's quite fun.
I love working in 3D as well, but I rarely do it. I just don't have the space to do it, unfortunately. But,
yeah, it takes up more space.
Yeah. I mean, I take up enough space with just painting, so you know, it's kind of, yeah, maybe one day. So what advice would you give to somebody about developing a creative practice?
Simple. It's the simplest thing. Just do it. Do not give a shit what other people say. You have to be happy. Do it. Do not let yourself be dragged down. Just do it. You know, you can do art just for yourself. You do not have to be successful with art. You do not have to make it your career. Mm-hmm. You know, making it your career, my art is my job, which means it comes with all the back drawing stuff that's exhausting, all the paperwork, having to be your own PR agent, having to be your own gallery, basically all that stuff. People kind of ignore what it means when you are a full-time artist. So I always tell people when they make art and they try and tell them, you know, are you happy doing art? They usually say yes, but they tell me, you know, I'm unhappy because it's a lot, and just do it for yourself. Who tells you that you have to be successful with something? Success is something you have to measure for yourself. Yeah. You know, a lot of people talk with me and they say, oh, you successful artists and stuff. And I tell them, what makes them successful? They have 100,000 likes on Instagram. That doesn't mean bleep, because maybe they cannot buy food from that. And on the other hand, maybe they have a lot of people who want to see their art and they still be unhappy because of whatever reason. So do it, but make it, keep the idea of not making it your job, because the job is exhausting, even if you love it.
Yeah. I mean, my wife actually quite often says that to me, that I should stick to doing my art as my hobby rather than a job, you know. Yeah. Try not to think about ever doing it as a job, because it'll probably lose its magic. And I talk to artists and they kind of, some of them are very, very happy doing what they do. Others really hate doing commissions, but have to do commissions because, you know, that's what pays their bills or whatever. And I just think, yeah, I'm actually quite lucky to just be able to do whatever I want to do. You know, I occasionally take on a commission, but I hate doing commissions, and I try and avoid them. You know, if somebody says, "Can you do such and such?" I say, "Well, actually, I've got these 5. Choose from one of them." You know, I don't want to do something specific. But yeah, because I still get enjoyment out of my art, which is good.
Yeah, I'm one of the few, I call it assholes, who actually managed to not do too much commissions, because I always been the person who has an agenda behind the artworks. So my artworks usually have a meaning that's a bit hidden underneath the surface. You know, my artworks can be quite cute and kitsch and pop and everything, and that's very much on purpose.
Yeah.
The messages that are hidden behind it, you have to decipher for yourself, and you have to come up with a meaning for it yourself. So I'm one of these really lucky bastards who started right from the beginning to basically tell people to fuck off if they want commissions, in the sense of, because I'm kind of an art activist, so people got used to me doing the stuff I want to do, so they buy that, which is very fortunate. But I know I also do commissions, for example, for Hands Off the Wall, for the festival I run, the Female Street and Graffiti Festival. I've done commission pieces to pay for the festival. Basically, I've done commercial on the walls of the festival for whatever company gave money. I do that, and I do that with the knowledge I'm completely pimping myself out, but I'm pimping myself out for a good reason. You know, I'm pimping myself out for 25 girls who paint there, basically. You have to find the balance between it. You know, doing commissions is fun, doing commercials is fun, if you do not do them all the time.
Yeah.
You can play and toy with these things and stretch the boundaries of what is possible and what is not. You know, you don't always have to play by the rules, and they come in to tell you, oh, we want a pink fox. Okay, whatever. We might bring them something with a hand grenade or something like that. You know, you can try to be sneaky. You know, you can put the points in there and put over your artistic intent. You know, if you do it just for the sake of the advertisement, that's okay. You know,
yeah.
If you make money from that to survive, it's completely fine. You know, it just at some points feels a bit empty for a lot of artists.
Yeah, and I think that's what my wife worries about happening with me. You know, that I end up in a position where I hate art because it's my job, rather than I love art because it's something I do.
It takes a while till you hate it.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
Don't worry. Just make sure you still love it. You know, I still love my job, and the last months I've been stuck behind the computer because of the festival. I told you, I've been drowning in paperwork. That's how my life is from time to time. You know, it's not that glamorous being here in the workshop and doing some pieces. It's not working. You know, I have to be in front of the computer and do the paperwork, do all the calculations and stuff. So that's part of the job. You have to find the balance.
Yeah, I was talking to an artist last week, and he was saying exactly the same thing. He probably spends 50% of his time doing actual art and 50% of his time doing all the other stuff that goes with being an artist, you know.
Yeah.
And people don't realise that, do they? They think you just sit there painting or making things out of clay or whatever all day, and it's really not like that. We wish, eh? So the last but one question is a question I like asking people. If you could spend 24 hours with a famous artist, past or present, you've got a time machine now, you can go back in time, doesn't matter if they're dead, they're not dead anymore, you can go back and when they're alive.
Does it have to be famous?
No, not at all. No. Who would it be, and what would you do?
because if it would be famous, I would go maybe for Keith Haring or something like that, someone from the pop art scene, because I think that would be loads of fun. If it doesn't have to be famous, I'd actually spend some time with my mom. Because she used to be a ceramicist and she's gone for a long, long time, and I would very much love to know what she has to say about me actually joining ceramics, even though it was quite clear I would never touch it for years until I ended up in the ceramics workshop and completely falling in love. So that would be fun, because I'm sitting here in my workshop and I have, for example, that's my mom's.
Oh wow, fabulous.
They're a bit broken and damaged, like all things left from a long time ago. But I would very much prefer to chat with her, and if it's just art, I would love to do that for a moment.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be lovely. My mum isn't with me either, and I'd give anything to spend another day with her, really. But a shared passion like that would be an amazing experience, an amazing 24
I think that would be fun, and she would probably have a lot of stuff to say about me and how I do things, because I'm a really shit potter. I'm not capable on the throwing wheel, and my mom used to be a master on the throwing wheel.
Oh, wow.
She used to do like tiny bulbs and stuff made from the wheel, and she used to throw them all. It basically, it's hard to explain, but she was a master. She really a true master of that wheel, and she used to make some Christmas like the Mother Cherry and the Christmas scene thingy.
Yeah. The nativity.
She worked for a potter shop, and they still have her figurines as the prime example for the throwers to actually work after, and none of them can reproduce them the way she did it. And I went there 2 years ago, and I talked with the lady who was in charge, and she said she cannot reproduce them because there's the technique, and this lady is working for years in the field. So when I saw that, I told her, you know what the trick was? My mom used to have like big nails, and she used to do the tiny parts, because she even throw like this tiny ears and stuff from the wheel. And she used to do it with the nails, and she was like, oh, that's how she did it. And I was like, yeah.
Brilliant.
Master, yeah.
Secrets of the trade.
But I'm really shit. I cannot throw on the wheel if my life depends on it.
No, it's something that I've never had a go at, to be honest. We did a little bit of work with clay when I was at school. I quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed the malleability of it all, and actually producing something with my hands. But we never had to go on a wheel.
Yeah. The wheel thingy is, I've tried it a couple of times. I have my mom's wheel standing back there, but I like the big stuff, as you see with Joffrey. I work with the clay from basically with my hands and not from the wheel. So I'm more of a sculptor than a potter, to be honest. I'm also, when you use ceramics, you have to make trial and errors with the colors. The colors are a thing with me. My mom used to do the most incredible color of things and just mix it by powders and stuff, and I'm here with my premixed glaze, and it's like, yay, finally something I like enjoying, because I hate the powdered stuff. I hate it.
Yeah. It could be an interesting 24 hours then.
I think so, yeah.
So finally, the last question, what is in store for the future? Have you got any projects that you're currently working on or planning that you could share with us today? I know you've recently done up your area where you work. So have you got some big plans now that you've got it how you want it?
It's always a work in progress with this workshop here, because it's really old and a lot of things need to replacement and stuff. But from the outsides of things, of course, I'm working on Hands of the Wall, which is happening this month. From the 30 to the 2nd of August. So it's in Munich, in Germany. It's again where last year where we had the 100-meter wall with the 7-meter height, where Hera and a lot of other really cool artists were. And this year I have like again 25 artists who have single walls this time. So we're keeping the big wall and we're taking over different parts of town. Since I'm the organizer of it, this is my main thing at the moment, which means no art for me. But I'm supposed to actually be working on a project for Switzerland. I've got invited by Marogia Street Art Festival, and they asked me to do a big piece, which I should actually produce tomorrow, today, the week before. So I should have started working on it right now. It's gonna be a big bubble, basically. The bubble will be painted because otherwise it's too big, and two big pieces chasing each other. One of them is a goldfish with like beautiful gold and yellow, orange colors. The other one is a plastic bag, and they're basically like yin yang, chasing without each other. And it's going to be, because the town is next to the lake and in the mountains, the picture is very nice because you have the mountains in the back and you have this bubble and the fish and the plastic chasing each other. And it's basically, it's called Unendlichkeit, eternity. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be about 4 meters wide. So it's 2 big pieces.
Yeah. It sounds big, 4 meters wide. It's quite a big.
Yeah. So, but it's only 2 pieces inside. So the bubble itself is painted because otherwise it would be too heavy for there. So it's just the fish and the plastic made of ceramics. And I should have started working on it today. It's not gonna happen because of the paperwork. Still drowning in it. It's like chasing and herding cats. But there is stuff for the future.
So much goes into organising these events that people just don't realise.
Oh yeah.
I know. I spoke to Andy Dice Davies, who does the Cheltenham show, and he was saying very similar. You know, there's so much work goes on behind the scenes that you just don't really realise until you actually decide you want to organise one.
Yes, that's why most of us organizers are friends, because we know how it is. We can get drunk together and we can whine and bitch about what happens on the. Not joking, Andy and me, we're friends and we're in contact. So he hears from what's going on in the festival, and I know what's happening with his festival.
Yeah.
So we have an active exchange.
That peer support of like minds. Yeah. Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Well, that's fabulous. I look forward to seeing pictures of this fish with a carrier bag. It sounds fascinating.
It will be good.
I look forward to it. Well, thank you anyway for spending some time with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've really enjoyed listening to you talk about your work, and just thanks for giving me some time. It's obviously very precious to you at the moment. Time.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I didn't answer requests and stuff for the last week.
No worries. I completely understand that you are a very, very busy person, so don't worry about it at all. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's fun to talk with you.
Brilliant. And if you like what you've seen today, please hit the subscribe button below and subscribe to my channel. I'll be interviewing some more artists over the coming weeks. And I'd just like to say thank you once again to Chinagirl, and cheerio.
Bye.